evening, the eve of his birthday, it happened to be a podcast night. So we wanted to use this opportunity to wish him a very wonderful birthday tomorrow, and also to have him share us, his journey, and how he got himself into this wonderful history he's doing right now. It was actually through a cat that I was able to do what I'm doing today. So, Kat is here with us, and join me to wish Kat a very happy birthday. And Kat, please welcome and share with our audience more about you. I know some people have seen you in different, and you have really given a lot and still giving to HMP, to other platforms that are really doing wonderful things to make our world a better place. So please share with us what really, how you got yourself into this great ministry.
Okay, thank you very much, Sita. Pleasure to be here, and what an honor to be highlighted. Sita, you and I met through the Happy Neighborhood Project, HNP Business Networking, the happiest place in the world for visible zip code, HAPPY. And, in regards to the business of my birthday, our friends over in the UK, our friends over in India, and our friends over in Australia, all these friends in the Eastern world, they're on my birthday term. So we were starting, by the time it was 10 a.m. Eastern time, we were already celebrating my birthday because, depending who we're networking with in the world, and you say my birthday is November 30th, well, it's like to them, it's like it was a now thing. So it's kind of fun having this worldwide community. In terms of history, I start with, I guess, first of all, let's establish myself as a practitioner of the Roman Catholic faith tradition. So I'm out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA, more specifically. Folks are looking for the geography. I belong to St. James Catholic Church in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. That's where I was baptized, and so on and so forth. My faith life grew from out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, northwest of Milwaukee. And so along with this, Catholic community, there's service organizations, including Knights of Columbus. There's also Ladies of Columbus, which Ladies of Columbus is less popular, I guess, in most places, getting dissolved. But Knights of Columbus organization is still strong. And I don't belong to the Knights of Columbus. I'm not a member. I'm not a knight. But my father was a Grand Knight, and same with brother. My brother was a Grand Knight. So the Knights of Columbus serving now what we call our, community members with intellectual disabilities, which in disability services, they expanded to be people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And, so that's been something instilled in me all my life. And then we have also, at the same time, Lions International with the motto of We Serve, and Lioness International. So my father and mother, parents and grandparents, and other relatives, members of the organizations. And on the Lions side, this is about people who are blind or visually impaired. And I've never been a Lion myself either, never been a Lion member, but in my life journey, I ended up aligning with Optimist International. I got started in high school, where I wrote for scholarships, and I did get a Lioness scholarship, But this side of the story is with Optimist International, the local Optimist Club in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, northwest of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. And so I wrote an essay about optimism. And they apparently liked my essay, and they gave me an internship. That was part of what I had going for me, going to University of Wisconsin-Madison for electrical and computer engineering. Bringing out that I have, a very analytical mind, scientific mind, and problem-solving type mindset. And also working in my life throughout my life, I'm born into it. In sociology, they call it accident to birth. And so I guess I bring that out in my story because people who know me and joke around with me say, yeah, Kurt was kind of an accident. But that's another story. In any case, water skiing. I actually grew up in a water ski show family. As a little tyke, I was able to be out there watching my mother and my aunts do their tricks. My mother was known for her turnabouts, grabbing that ski handle and pulling on it and turning yourself around on these long turnabout skis, no rudder, and she spun around. And my one aunt was known for, her one ski salute. So she'd start out on two skis and grab one ski and put it up, and then put the handle behind her ankle and hold that ski up. And and then my other aunt was just a solid skier, solid on slaloming and able to, based on different tricks and so forth, and do flags and all this kind of stuff. So it was a great opportunity. And actually, water skiing is celebrating 100 years this year. So, kind of in 2022, when I was going around saying I'm 50, I would tell everybody, hey, when you see me, you can say, hey, that guy represents half of the history of water skiing. So what we have here is my brother joined a local water ski team, west of Milwaukee here, just a little west of Menominee Falls that I was referring to, community called Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and Pewaukee Lake Water Ski Club. And 38 years ago, I went out there to watch this water ski show. And I enjoyed it. And it was a thing that I connected, like, hey, I can join this club. I'm a water skier. I got an appetite for show skiing. So after that season, watching my brother, I joined this club. And at that time, I was 15 years old. And so I've been show skiing a handful of years after joining the team that they got involved in taking adults with disabilities water skiing. So this really became a concentrated experience for sure, people with physical disabilities. But this agency serves all people with disabilities. So this disability service organizations agency, the nonprofit that I'm actually on the board for now, and I'm a board member of this nonprofit Adaptive Community Approach Program. And for decades, we've been having this annual event that we call now the Greg Wilkinson Memorial Waterfront Festival. And so a great day, Saturday, the first Saturday in August every year. And so when that began, we co-wrote a grant for a sit ski. We obviously got the sit ski because we were still actually using, the basic ski, the platform ski cage, we still use today. It's been refurbished and so forth throughout the time, keep it a safe ski. But, so this is something that we can do. And what happened 10 years ago is a community member that is a friend with cerebral palsy, power wheelchair user, great candidate for the sit ski, So the idea is what we do is we take a wheelchair user as they're sitting in the chair. We talk to them about, how they transfer best, out of their chair. And so with their help and, guiding us on how to best work with them to transfer. We transfer them to the sit ski, and then we lower the sit ski in the water, and then get it all lined up with the boat, and with a couple of friends skiing on either side of them, and they go away. So the idea was 10 years ago, we had our friend come out to the waterway to do this in a show. So we do 20 shows a year as the Pewaukee Lake Water Ski Club. So on one of these nights with the water ski show, we had our friend show up to ski on the sit ski, and we had the sit ski out there setting it all up. And he's out there with his swimsuit, knee-green shirt, towel, goggles, water socks. I mean, he was more ready to water ski than I was. But what happens is two of our friends come over to me, and one being president of the club and the other being another board member, they proceed to approach me about this not happening. And this became a detailed conversation. It got very granular to understand their objections. And in hindsight, I culminated that, to share the story, I say that they had 20 reasons why this guy ought not ski. And I didn't like one of them. So that's why I was so involved. But they were set to be against it. And the one comment that really gripped me was when my one friend said, well, if he skis, then everybody's got to ski. So that's kind of one of the takeaways from this conversation. And the bottom line is he didn't ski that. And not only didn't he ski, the only one who talked to them, because she noticed that he was not being attended to in this change of plans, she at least went over to him and said, hey, it looks like you're not going to be able to ski. And she didn't want to get into the why or whatever, but at least he knew he wasn't going to ski. And it was just, amazing that our other friends didn't even do the courtesy that I asked them to. I told them that they need to be the ones to tell him, and they just never did. They got what they wanted. He didn't ski. And just, so disturbing and disruptive, and disturbed my sleep that night. And it became one of these overnight experiences. So what I did is, the thing about my sleep is I'm fortunate to be a sound sleeper. I have all my life. And, but you have these nights where you don't, so yeah, I do get those nights, in rare times. And this was one of those rare times. So I take it seriously when my sleep is disruptive. And I have actually, my life said that to many friends or contacts. I'm like, if you're not able to sleep, just give me a call. I'll put you right to sleep. So maybe some of you are sleeping out there. But in any case, the next morning I asked for a conversation with my wife and daughter. We got together as family, and we reviewed the happenings of the night before. And what came of it is that with this comment about, well, then everybody's got to ski, we ran with that, and we developed the Everybody Skis program, the Inclusion to Water Skiing campaign. And we set it up for our county, so the county that we live in, we set out to attract people to join us. And in doing so, we reached out to the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation. So when I told them everything we had in mind for our county, they liked it so much. I then was asked, would you have any interest in doing this for the Federation? Which means they're asking me to take it from not just the county, but for the state of Wisconsin. And so that's what ensued. And it really ignited a very pivotal experience for me, because it was majestic. I mean, it was something that in this process of the downhill alpine skiing, the snow skiers were actually featured on television as I'm going through this process. And the recreational therapist that made it happen through we know her through the Independent Living Center, but this is a separate program that we call CWAS, the South Wisconsin area or adaptive ski program, CWAS. And so this was on television. And the soundbite that really got me was when she apparently told, well, they got on camera in this interview. One of the sound bites was, "This is the stuff that makes grown men cry." And I lived that true, on the water skiing side. And it was just amazing. We have a friend by the name of Chad that he just knocked my socks off when he took up the challenge to go on a flyboard. Now I say flyboard, and for 99.99% of people, that means nothing. So to grasp what a flyboard is, I think a lot of people know about jet skis. So a jet ski looks like a snowmobile for water. And so what the flyboarders created was this experience made possible by taking like fire hose and hooking it up to that jet for this jet ski, and that jet propulsion from the jet ski is enough hydraulics to shoot a person up into the air that would be on a board, doing boarding, like there's wakeboarding, and there's snowboarders. So people are used to this boarding style of things. There's a board that the hydraulics takes you 15 feet in the air. And so imagine being a paraplegic, and you have cerebral palsy, and you're being shot up in the air on the back of a pro water skier, but you're tethered to the person. You have paralysis, but you're using, your mobility to grip and give a bear hug from behind to this pro water skier, tethered on, and this pro water skier is on a flyboard, and you're being shot up in the air 15 feet. And this is all on Milwaukee TV. And the good thing about it is when it aired on TV, it so happened that our water ski club was gathering after a night of skiing at a sports bar. And so we were able to see our friend in this news segment. And the idea is that he went up into the air, and they had this camera angle which got the clouds. And of all things, these clouds were like Simpsons clouds, on the TV show, the cartoon animated show, The Simpsons. Those clouds that are used to brand that show, it was like that's where he was. It was like he was with The Simpsons. And so I'm with the club, and it's like silent in there. Like people are just like they couldn't believe what was happening. And I'm like, look, and I'm counting clouds. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it was, that's just one of the exhilarating experiences. In the state of Wisconsin, we have the world's largest. Well, first of all, Wisconsin is the show ski capital of the world. 33 ski shows in the state of Wisconsin. And so there's no place on earth like it with that type of concentration. You can come into our state and that you have that many opportunities for a water ski show. And so Chad that I was talking about, he worked with the president of the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation, and we host the world's largest water ski tournament in the world. And so what Chad offered to this tournament was to put on a demonstration of adaptive skiing, and they took him up on it. So now we're in central Wisconsin, 26 competitive ski show teams competing there. So thousands of athletes involved in this tournament. And, we're here to get him doing a demo. And what the organizer of the tournament told me was that he'll take care of talking to the show director. So as a show skier, what I thought he meant, and in the end of this, I was wrong, and it caused a problem. But I thought he was talking about that we were going to be able to use the club's boat and ropes and have skiers. I thought that this team that the show director was with was going to be doing the demo with us. But when I got on site and we were finalizing, going through the run-through of what we were going to do on the water, I caught on to that. No, that was not the case. So here we're up there with a sit ski and a rope for the sit ski and Chad the ski in it, but nothing else set up. And the organizer asked me if that was a problem. I'm like, no, that's not a problem. I flat out lied, folks. Just flat out lied. You know, it was like that oh no moment. But, you know, the confidence that the disability community gave me to, you know, blast through barriers and get me into a mantra where I call it barrier demolition. You know, I learned so much about a can-do attitude from people with disabilities that now I refer to the community of people with disabilities as the masters of ability. And so what we were able to do that day is get into problem solving mode. We needed boats, or we needed a boat, we needed skiers, we need ropes. Well, here we're at the largest water ski tournament in the world. It's like if Kurt Roscoff can't get this done here, it ain't happening anywhere in the world, people. So I just went around and I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Kurt Roscoff. You know, the tournament is asking us if there's any way we can do a adaptive water ski demonstration. We do have a sit ski. We do have a diverse ability athlete to demo the ski. We got a rope for it, but that's all we got. You know, is there somebody in your team that might be able to see if we'd be able to work with you guys to do this demo? And I just kept doing that with all these teams that came there to compete. And by the time I made the rounds, I was getting feedback. Hey, we got some skiers who want to do that with it. It sounds cool, you know? And then we had some skiers, and then, oh, if you want to use our equipment, if you want to use our ropes, go ahead. So we had, you know, a team give us ropes, and then another team gave us skis, and, you know, and then finally I got introduced to a man who brings his personal boat to the tournament, and it's called the Pony Boat. And a neat story behind it, and a sad story. This is a gentleman that lost his daughter in a car collision. And so he does water ski lessons in memory of his daughter, who was a show skier. So here she used to compete in this tournament, and she's no longer with us. And he carries on. He and his wife join in, still do the ski show competitive, but they also do doubles. See, his daughter used to be his doubles partner. So when they lost their daughter, the wife became the doubles partner. They carried on doing doubles. And they also carry on doing water skiing with youth in memory of their daughter. And now it's just, you know, skiing for everybody. And I brought to them the principle of skiing for everybody, including people with disabilities. And so now we have an adaptive water ski thing. But when I got introduced to this man, he ended up saying he was happy if it helped to use his boat. So what a deal. We were able to use the pony boat, and we had a potluck composition. And so I entered into a training mode. These people never did this before. And so I had to really turn it up to be like, and this is a big site. I mean, it's probably like a quarter mile long. You know, it's like I'm walking back and forth to the starting point, to the showcase. And, you know, I probably put on a dozen miles that day to do everything I did at this tournament, including doing this demo. And we had the radio set up. We had radio communication, so I could communicate with them down there. We're on our phones as well. You know, so we had phones going. We had, you know, walkie-talkies going. Coordinated this, and what I created was a 7-minute script, because in this tournament there's a 10-minute window that is for teardown time, which is what we had to work with in the tournament. So I couldn't have my demo interrupting the tournament. So I created the 7-minute script to give a 3-minute buffer that we'd be in and out, and we wouldn't disturb the tournament. Well, in the end, this thing went so good. Chad went from the left to the right. The pony boat looked so great. It went around a couple times. Everybody was so excited to see, you know, a man with a disability out there. And just think, these are people who are proud to be a water skier. They love the sport of water skiing, and now they're seeing that their sport is including people with disabilities. I mean, this was a unifier. with these thousands of people. And it went so good. And I asked so many people to get to that point. You know what happened after that? I had people who didn't know we did the demo saying, hey, you were talking about doing that demo? We can do this, we can do that. And then I'd go back to the organizer and say, we already did the demo, but I'm being offered to do a demo. I think I got to go back to them and tell them thanks, but no thanks. But I want to keep this year's show. Am I going back and telling them we're all good? He's like, no, it went so good. If these folks are saying they're going to do another demo, let's do another demo. So we did another demo. And you know what? It kept going. And then now I needed another skier because Chad was on his way home. I had a third round of that. Across the 3 days, we ended up doing 4 demos. And the funny thing is, originally when I was starting in to do this demo, we had contact who very well could have done a demo, but they just took a pass, like no pass. And I figured I was all set because the organizer was going to talk to the show director. But they actually were hearing about these demos, and now they wanted to do one. And so what happened is the organizers decided that it was a great thing again, to do another one and to do it while the judges were accumulating the points to come up with the winners, to entertain or to showcase during that time. So before the awards ceremony, we did another demo. Went up there to do one, just about had the whole thing fall apart, kept the can-do attitude, ended up with 4. And what this did is this created the attention that I was able to attract 12 people interested to bring this to their community, empowering their team to include people with disabilities, which then that grew into 20. And when we had 20 people, now they were really having the appetite to do something on an even larger scale. And we did a train the trainer in Madison, Wisconsin. And that ended up involving getting us to 80 people now, coming through that. And with that 80 people, and conventions and tournaments and activities, just everything just kind of spiraling. Next thing you know, 6 years later, I formed originally the adaptive water ski division for the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation. And then I passed the reins. I had a succession plan, passed the reins to another guy. And then that guy felt like he was ready to pass it on. We passed it on to this lady that I call the queen of inclusive water skiing out of Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. And she's still the director of the adaptive division, doing a great job. I don't think there could be a better person to do it. So you talk about the world of women, and I talk about this amazing story. A couple guys did it, and we're here today, gone tomorrow, but she's still reigning on. Her name is Susan, and doing a wonderful job. And she's got it to the point where it's institutionalized with the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation, the Adaptive Water Skiing Division, that makes the state federation committed that the sport is for everybody. The federation operates that when we reach into the population of Wisconsin for the sport, it's the entire 5 million people there are in Wisconsin. It's like nobody's excluded. And to take this knowledge commons and this combined resource, and it's just a thing. So that's what I'm doing at the Happy Neighborhood Project, is I'm trying to connect heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul, and let's really be committed for economic opportunity, business opportunity, professional opportunity, breadwinning, and all this stuff that you can build a career off of, inclusive hiring, to have accommodations in the workplace. Like right now, Zoom. Zoom has, with breakout rooms, in the main room and breakout rooms, like right now we're using it, live transcription. How great that if somebody's got a hearing challenge, not able to catch all my words, if they're like, what did Kurt say? And then look at the box, closed caption. There's all these little things that when you put it all together, it makes what we call universal design. Now, universal design is really intended to talk about physical place and talk about how where you can gather in person, how it works with like hearing loops for those who are hard of hearing and so forth, and things for that accommodate visitors who are blind and visitors who have physical disabilities and sensory rooms and stuff for our autism community. And that's really where universal design comes from. I take that concept and I use it more loosely to just say, let's just build this world in universal design that everything is for everybody. And if we, being people that don't have a disability, are challenged to do that, you know what? We have masters of ability. Just go ask a person with a disability to say, hey, I want to make this work, for more people. Can you help? And then they share their life journey with you, or they take a look at what you're trying to do, and they have the expertise because they live with it every day. And that's what I learned through adaptive sports and rec. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in 2014, 2015, we put together with the Medical College of Wisconsin, inspired through the VA, and a lot of other disability nonprofits got involved. We ended up having over 60 partners to an adaptive sports and rec expo. And there were 50 hands-on, involved experiences, like with water skiing. This was at a high school. And in the parking lot of the high school, I had my sit ski, and I had videos, and I had the equipment, and it was like a show and tell thing. And, people with disabilities could actually sit in the sit ski to get an idea and to say, okay, you're sitting there, not just imagine yourself going out in the water, being seated in there like that. And so there were 50 other renditions of that type of opportunity, adaptive kayaking, you name it. So this is just transformed my life. People talk about a transformation in life. This is it. And to feel like you're answering your call, your calling. I feel this is my calling because I've assessed that there are anthropologically, historically, as far back as the human history goes, back to Adam and Eve, whatever, human beings have never had this conversation of, why are we not flipping the script? Why are we not putting people with disabilities in front? In the USA, there's My Team Triumph that is driven by endurance athletes. So the marathon runners, duathlons, triathlons, Ironman, and stuff like that. And My Team Triumph gets people with physical disabilities involved in these things. And in the state of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin chapter, which I'm guessing, I don't want to speak for other places, but I'm guessing this is a My Team Triumph thing. When they're working with a race, sometimes an organizer will say, yeah, they can just go right and back. Like they're picturing their lineup, and now they're adding people with disabilities and put this My Team Triumph thing in the back. Well, you know what? My Team Triumph takes a pass. It's like, no, this is a program that if you want us, we're going to be in front, or we're just going to go to the next one. I thought, wow, that is bold, and that's how they do it. And it works so great, that when My Team Triumph is debuted for that race, that it's right out in front. And that's what I want for everything. Let's put it right out in front, and let's showcase how you do it, like I did with demonstrating adaptive water skiing, because everybody wants to do this. The negligence is by accident. It's unintentional. It's not what people are thinking that they want to do. It's just non-existent. It's a void. So you can fill it by showing how the intention can transform into action. And when people are handheld through that, I've had nobody tell me that they don't want to do it. Not a one person has told me, thanks for offering, but no, I don't think so. Not a one person. Now, it may end up that somebody maybe ended up not doing it just because of time challenges, or, people are in different places in their life. I just happen to be in a place where I'm ready to go gangbusters, 40 years into my life. So I'm like, I get it. It took me 40 years to wake up to So if somebody is not doing it right away, I'm not disturbed. You know. So I guess with that, I hope that my storytelling really said solidly kind of why I'm in this ministry. And I say ministry because to me, like right now in the Zoom, I feel I'm being joined by 5 other souls, and we're talking about something so important. And for sure, in advocacy, disability advocates taught me about intersectionality. So when you start talking about LGBTQ, you start talking about women's advocacy, disability advocacy, racial advocacy, all these things, all these advocacies need to come together. So again, everything works for everything. So that's Zita. Where do we go from here?
Absolutely. Geez, thank you so very much. I know a few people joined us after Kat had started addressing us. We are doing this podcast tonight to celebrate Kat. Kat's birthday is tomorrow, which in different some parts of the world they're already celebrating his birthday. So, and for those of you that don't know who Kat is, he is the captain of everything that I know of. HMP, HMP, even Zita's Healthy Beginnings, Word of Women podcast, you name it, Kat is there. He is also the captain for the disability channel and so forth. And as we were, talking, I just wanted us to listen to him, know a little bit about him. And I'm so really blown away by the way God has really, I know, the way he's gone, beyond what my expectation in sharing with us who he is, where his roots started. And one thing that really struck me while Kat was sharing with us was what family represents in our lives. That whatever that has been really put in us by our families, by our parents, for the rest of our lives, if we really identify with those, it takes us all through life. And it helps us to also impact other people's lives. Because guess what? We are all born with inherent talents, gifts that are not given to anybody else except us. When Kat shared about his mom doing that, because I have really watched him on the video and I'm like, I can't even fathom how he does this. And those of them that were doing it, I don't know how they did it or even how they started thinking about doing something like that. But this is a gift. And he held on to it. Right now, I call it a ministry because look at where it has taken you and where it's still taking you, that for me, really, it is really baffling to see how a talent has been transformed to a national event. I mean, like it took the whole of you, it took your time, it took family collaboration, support, and everything else, it even took community, and now you're beginning to kind of expand the whole thing to embrace disability in so many different forms because that's what we are facing in this world. And our world, especially in the Western world, is like if something looks different from what we call normal, it's not the same. We start leveling. We start doing all kinds of unusual thinking, mindset, brainwashing, you name it. And then as we do that, we start removing certain people in our mind, thinking that they cannot achieve certain level in our own, calculation. And God really demonstrated his ministry to me when I really, I was a member of HMP for how many years, for how many months now. And at some point, the time I connected with God, which would be like in in a week's time, it would be 1 year. I contacted him this time last year, and I said to him, "This is my situation. I am really frustrated. I am at an HMP. I love HMP. I have actually built a whole lot of relationship with people. I have even patronized people. I have bought their products because I saw that they had genuine products. And I said to him, I understand that what I'm doing is a non-profit, but I still feel there has to be a way people can patronize me. Unfortunately, nobody was doing that. I said to him, really, I'm thinking about, you know, taking a decision. I mean, what am I really benefiting from a group that I feel should be a mutual benefit? But it's like for me, it's one sided. And right there, I mean, Kurt used his natural talent. He talked me through it. By the end of our conversation, we already scheduled podcast, the date, the time, and everything. I never had in mind of doing anything this kind of program when I requested for us to have that conversation. It just emerged through Kurt's guidance. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And 1 year into it, we are still here talking about it. So as we're celebrating Kurt's birthday, I'm remembering, also first year anniversary of the World of Women podcast. And Kurt has really helped me to recognize the gifts in me and to know that I can bring it forward regardless of who I am, what I am, my background, whatever. He has really empowered me to admit that, yes, I can. And I know a lot of us are sitting there and wondering, how did she do it? I don't know. But if you have someone like Kat who can really hold your hand and walk the walk with you, you know that your life, you can accomplish the life purpose when you have somebody like him. So I'm so thankful to God for Kat's life, for bringing him and supporting him through his family to be all he's called to be. And today we are beneficiaries. And I'm hoping that even in the future, that we're going to do something more marvelous, like unlike what we're doing right now. And that is letting people know that yes, they can. It only takes our mindset to be kind of changed for the better and know that yes, we're all in this together. We're all gifted, no matter how physically or psychologically tempered we are, that we are basically children of God who are loved and gifted. So thank you so much, Kat. And the other question I was gonna ask you, which I know tallied with what you just the second one you shared, but I would like to specifically want you to comment on it. Was what kind of message would you give to men, probably women, who think sometimes that they have all these talents? They are called to be who they are, as well as empower other people. But for some reason, they feel that there's a barrier, that there's something in them that is not giving way. what word of advice would you give to them?
Well, I guess I want to start with something that I refer to pretty routinely. I kind of crack open sacred scripture, and we look in there, and we know a story about our Messiah who is talking to disciples and saying, what you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. So I want to examine that scripture, because to me this is the scripture in all of sacred scripture that I think identifies the human condition better than anything that I've heard in 51 years of life. And the reason is this: because when you think of a Messiah, and you think of divinity, and you think of this concept, like this is, a verse, like what you do unto the least of these. I mean, let's crack that open. Let's unpack that. Like, let's get into that expression, what you do unto the least. And we're talking about people, the least of these. That brings us to comparison. It's not divine to compare. I mean, there are things like, in terms of, living a more righteous life, and there are these guiding things to like think of better. So there is an insinuation of comparison. But to me, when I look at the 8 billion people on earth, to me, if we really understand our existence, I think all the advocacies are all about that we're all equal. And this is the things of like war and stuff like this. It's because, somebody is like impeding upon our ownership, our imperialism and stuff like this. So to me, what I'm calling for is a revival on existence, to take a look and embrace 8 billion people on earth for who they are in existence. I look at source. In our faith life, we're connecting to our source. We're talking about celebrating parents. To me, that's where it's inherent in messages about respecting parents, because, like movies are like PG, parental guidance, and stuff like this. So whatever somebody's journey is on the parental front, there is that piece of a life journey that accounts for, what is empowering the person to be all that they can be. And so when we talk about, again, divinity, and we talk about whether it's our creator or where we come from or whatever, I believe one way or another, however you do it, I think 8 billion of us can agree that each and every one of us is on this planet with unlimited potential. And we have a chance to make ourselves available in some ideal way by our own construction, how we're plugging in with the other 8 billion people, because I feel we're all around the world like one unified organism. So to me, this is in that concept. When there's suffering in one part of the world, wherever we are in the world, we're suffering. So we all are united to deal with that. And it's like the human body. Like if there's cancer, illness, or whatever, it's like, it's not like something happens here in our belly and like it doesn't affect our arm or something. It's like we're one unit. We're unified. We've got a body within our skin. And I think it's the same way with the population of the world within, the embodiment of our atmosphere, and so forth. So I think this all works together. So the idea when we talk about our given gifts and talents, it's our opportunity to check in with, what do we feel we're going to do with our existence? I've said many times that, my philosophy in life is that if I am so gifted today, right now, as I'm speaking to you, to be able to breathe this oxygen and to speak, I'm going to put it to good use. I'm all about the return on investment and things like that, the output from the input. And that's the opportunity we have. And if we have challenges, again, we have other people we can turn to help us be in existence, because we're like a user group. We're like 8 billion people that are a unified user group that we can all check in with each other and collaborate, like we say at HMP, and we can benefit from others demonstrating to us. So I talked about how I demonstrated, but those capabilities were because people demonstrated to me. And then we can replicate this. So wherever somebody's in the process, I propose optimism that I believe there's something great destined for everybody. And it's just that invitation to please check in with however you celebrate existence, and just do the best you can and ask for help. I mean, I told you about the 20 people that helped me get to that more than sextupling means access to the sport of water skiing for people with disabilities in Wisconsin. It's because I had a group. You know, I'm able to tell the story and I instigated it, but this group got it done. And it's happening with or without me now. So how was that, Tina?
Wow. Awesome. That's what I call leadership. Because you, as a great leader, you initiated it, and here it is now blossoming with or without you. And really, that's a gift too. And I would like, before people make comments and wish Kat a happy birthday, let's just please, can you unmute and let's sing a birthday song for Kat. So when you unmute, you let's just collectively sing it. It's a common one. So let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear girl. Happy birthday to you. Many more.
Thank you very much. So I'm turning 51. 51 weeks into this. 51.
Actually, this is Bridget. I actually wanted, I'm so happy Sister Zita brought in this, because I was going to sing him another version that he has never heard. I hope so. And before I sing, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you. We came in late. We apologize. So much stuff going on. And so I just wanted to say, all what you said or what others Zita said, we can't thank you enough for the work that you do. Only God, who knows the inside of your heart and why you do it, He's going to bless you. So I'm going to sing something to thank God for you and for all of us, to really thank you for the gift of you and for coming on this podcast. You are a blessing. My voice, I can hear my voice, I've recorded something, so I'll try my best. Happy birthday to you. All of us sing and say, happy birthday to you. May our God bless you. May your path be always bright, bringing joy day and night. May your path be always bright, bringing joy day and night. We call upon the dead, your family, all those ancestors where you came from, that they will be with you as you move along in doing at 51, whatever, you're still a baby. You have a lot that God you have to achieve. All of us, Mary sing, bless wishes, bells ring. May God bless and reward your work and effort. May your path be always bright, bring joy day and night. May your path be always bright, bringing joy day and night. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Wow,
Happy
that
birthday.
was you,
Well
all
done.
right? Jeez, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Wow. So, Emily, you have something to say?
All I have to say is wow at the moment.
The world of women.
What did you say?
um happy early birthday, Kurt, or happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Emily. Appreciate it.
And wow. But
Okay.
yeah, but thank you again. Yes, I know I've heard your story about a million times by now, but I always love hearing it.
Well, it's good to know. Thanks, Emily. I'm sure you'll be hearing it a lot more yet in the years to come.
Yeah, as long as both of you work together, you're going to be hearing each other's story. I'm sure the feeling is mutual. But the whole thing here is we are so glad that Kat was born and that he is doing what God has assigned him to do, what I would call his life purpose. So I thank God for him, and also thank God for his gift in our midst. And hopefully, we'll all continue to celebrate many more birthdays in the future. So thank you all. And I'm so glad you all joined us to celebrate Kat this evening. So, as a reminder, our podcast is through the disability channel, and it's also in collaboration with Transform You Network and Park, and we're so happy for the opportunity they have granted to us to reach our audience through this platform. And with this, I want to also remind you that our podcast is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. On the 13th of December, we will not have a podcast because, and some of you have received the flyer, and others will receive that in the future. Um, the World of Women is through Zita's Healthy Beginnings, and our a nonprofit organization benefits from an event, a holiday shopping event by the 10,000 villages. 10,000 Villages is one of the international shops here in Pittsburgh, PA, and I believe it's all over the United States. They try to patronize our brothers and sisters who live outside the United States, especially in Africa and Southeast Asia, India, and places like that. They bring all their products, you name it, they have it. And most of these products are, all of them actually, they're all handmade, they're original, they are like sacred. When you feel and touch them, you know what I'm talking about. And they have online also if you want to shop. So whatever anyone shops through this in their online or in person on the 30th of December from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Is when the shop is open. And between this time, if anyone does any shopping, they give Zita's Healthy Beginnings 15% of whatever it is that you pay. So they have really supported us all these years, and we are so thankful to them. And I will be at the shop with other board members to actually receive some of our friends who will be coming in to do some shopping in order to support us. So please do whatever you can do in sharing the flyer with your family, friends, your circle, your community, for them to reach out. This is their opportunity to really support Zita's Healthy Beginnings. As we do Word of Women podcast, everything we do is free. And when you're doing a nonprofit, you're gonna really need a lot of money, not only money and other resources to really keep going. We are really hoping and trusting and praying for all our partners, and we know that God will continue to provide for you guys as you support us in this journey. So thank you all once again, and see you next week. Have a blessed night. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Nice party. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Nice to
Happy
see you,
birthday,
Kurt.
Kim.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Zita, hi.
Yes.
Recording stopped.
Can we shop online?
Yes, you can shop online. Yes, you can shop online, and I will actually email you their website so you can shop. Yeah,
Great.
and I think they also have a shop in New York. I'm not sure where, but I will send you. I think it's better you do online. A lot of people shop online these days, so.
What's the name of the organization or the business?
10,000 villages. I'm gonna put it here on the chart.
Okay.